up? Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It's the one and only Kennytalk is back in the building. Kung Fu Kenny, whatever you want to call it. And I'm about to make sure that I drop something today that everybody need to hear. Welcome. Clap it up for yourselves. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for pressing play again. Okay? Thank you for pressing play again. It's the one and only Kennytalk, and I'm here to drop what is called the Moment of Truth, brought to you by WKTE Kennytalk Radio on YouTube. And you know, this is what I do. I love to do it. So I'm a sharer. You know what I'm saying? I do it for the people. So today I wanted to drop something really quick before I get out of here. It's going to be a new and exciting episode. I've been getting a lot of feedback and I love it. But where we got to go right now is where we need to be. I am about making relationships work. That's what I'm about, right? So that's what made me kind of come up with 5 things that drive relationships apart. There are 5 things that people do unconsciously, right? Now, don't get me wrong, there are more, but we're gonna pinpoint 5 things that people do unconsciously that make relationships, that drive relationships apart. And I'm gonna run through them kind of quick, right? And then I'm gonna drop on you guys what I like to call the relationship truth of the day, and then our moment of truth, and then we're gonna be done. But I want y'all to feel me on this, right? Research, hit me up, however you want to do on social media. Tell me what you think. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. So here we go. Let's start with number 1. Number 1 thing, the first thing that we do that drive relationships apart is gonna be, we take the actions in the beginning as who that person really is. All right. So whatever I'm doing, whatever I do, however I present myself and all that, if I'm able to do it consistently for about a couple of weeks, we start to think that's how that person is. So we start to tell our friends, hey, I met this guy. He's so cool. I love his vibe. He's this, he's that. And it's like you pounce on that small time period and you utilize that to define who I am. And we all know when we meet each other in relationships, we meet representatives. There's someone that you're meeting that I would like to present to you at that particular time, right? For that particular time. So we got to make sure that we understand that it takes a little bit more time. But when we accept that, right at that point, you're in the beginning of driving your relationship apart with that person. Number 2, let's keep it moving. Number 2, after you get that information, then you start trying to turn the man or the person that you have into the person that's in your head. The person that you have into the person that's in your head. Now, I know this is true with women as well, and guys as well, but we all have like a certain picture or a certain feeling that we know we're gonna get from a certain situation when we meet that right one. That right one is gonna make me feel this way. That right one is gonna do these things. That right one is gonna look like this. You dig what I'm saying? So we try to turn the man that we have or the person that we have into the person that's in our head. And we all know that's a recipe for disaster, because now you're gonna start pulling at this person to become that, and the environment is gonna start becoming uncomfortable. So here we go. That key word I want y'all to remember: environment. All right, that's what drives a relationship apart. That's number 2. All right, moving right along. Number three, when you make him uncomfortable or make that person uncomfortable in your environment, because he reverts back to who he really is. Now, don't get me wrong. The actions and all of that might be a part of that person up front as far as who they are. But guess what's going to happen? After a while, they're going to get into a comfort zone and revert to who they really are. When they do that, the biggest mistake that we make is we make the environment uncomfortable for the person that actually reverts back to who they really are at that time. So that's number 3. We make the environment uncomfortable for the person. Well, we make your environment uncomfortable, right? So when he's around you or when she's around you, you got the questions about, you used to do this, why are you doing that? It's a contradiction. You said this, now you all about that. So this person is looking like, okay, now the environment is becoming uncomfortable because now I want to be who I am instead of who I represented in the front. who I represented myself as up front. So what ends up happening, you make them uncomfortable in your environment. All right. Number 4, you make them uncomfortable in their own environment. All right, so now at this particular point, when a person comes around you and you made it uncomfortable for them in your environment, when they're not around you, you get to calling and you get to texting, you get to searching social media, you get to following up, you get to probing, and all of a sudden that person is uncomfortable with who they are in their own environment, right? So if I'm uncomfortable with myself now in my own environment because I'm not even in your environment and you pretty much are making it that way, that's what drives it apart. So as you can see, the domino effect. All right, so we make that person uncomfortable in his own environment when we start checking up on him and things of that nature. Number five, and the last one is going to be when you start to bring people in your environment to cope with what's missing from your environment. That's the family, that's the friends, that's the co-workers, that's the work boo, what we like to call it. You know what I'm saying? All these people that we say, okay, we explain it to them. My significant other is not this, not that, not this, started like this, and then now they like this, and I got some concerns, I feel a certain type of way, and that person says, oh, I know exactly how you feel, right? But if I were you, there we go. You see what I'm saying? Or you know what, if it was me, I wouldn't treat you that way and things of that nature. So you start to just lean towards someone to console you that understands or say they understand what you're going through in your own environment. So at that particular point, as you can see, that domino effect, it rips us apart. So let me recap. Number 1, we actually take the actions up front in the beginning as who that person really is. Number 2, we try to turn the person that we have into the person that's in our head. Number 3, all right, we make them uncomfortable in our environment because they revert back to who they really are. Number 4, we make them uncomfortable in their own environment because of who they are. And then number 5, or the impact that it has on us. And number 5, we start to bring people in the environment to cope with what's missing. Boom. Kennytalk just dropped it on you, right? Share, tell me what you think. So now, it's about that time for me to jump into what I like to call the relationship truth. And the relationship truth goes as follows. A lot of this stuff is unconscious. So here it goes. It's if you get into a relationship to make anyone other than yourself happy, when it comes time to fight for it, you won't have an internal reason to do it. So it can't be about making anybody else happy, right? It has to be about service to each other. Okay, if you get into a relationship to make anyone happy other than yourself happy, when it comes time to fight for it, you won't have an internal reason to do it. So that's what we got to do. It can't be 100% about us. It can't be 100% about that person. It has to be service towards each other. All right. So, I be dropping that on social media and things of that nature. So y'all follow Kennytalk the most. Or Instagram, Kennytalk_. So it's about time for what I like to call the final thought. And I'm going to drop it like this before I get up out of here. So y'all might want to, pay close attention because this is going to be a overall view of what this particular show was about. So here we go. The final thought goes as follows. Okay. She goes from, wow, he's attractive. Sure, you can have my number. We can chat. To the dating is going great. He listens. I'm starting to feel we're the perfect match. From great communication, hot sex, to a weird, lukewarm, comfortable space. To why don't you do the things you used to do? You make me sick. Get out of my face. All the way to he used to be considerate of me. He don't try. Communication now sounds like noise. So you bring your friends and family opinions in the mix or a special friend to fill that void. Now relationships will have issues. There'll be misunderstandings and broken hearts. But if this vicious cycle is not identified and broken, the truth will always tear us apart. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Do me a quick favor real quick. This is the only thing I ask of you for you guys that be chopping it up with Kenny Talk on Kenny Talk Radio. hit that button down there and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Once you subscribe, I know you know somebody that needs to hear this. So share it with them, you know, share it on their page or whatever and let them see what they think about it. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. I'm about to get up out of here right now. I had fun dropping this on you. I'll be back with more Moment of Truth. Continue to make it and do what I do, okay? Salute. Hands up. Stay focused. Much love. Stay together. And that's what I want to say. Kennytalk is out of here because you never know who might need to hear it.